Michael had just come home from work. While he was putting the groceries from the market into the fridge, the door opened, and his wife entered with their 2 children. One was named Lainey and the other Christian. Seeing his kids, Michael hugged and kissed them lovingly. Later, they had dinner together as a family and decided to spend a nice evening watching TV. After some time, Christian mentioned craving something sweet. Michael suggested they could go to the market together to get some dessert. Both got into the car and drove to the market. Just as they were about to enter, Michael's phone rang. It was his mother, her voice trembling with panic. "Hey, Michael, you need to come here immediately. I can hear yelling and loud noises coming from our neighbor Thomas's house," she said. Michael replied, "I'm not really available right now. Mom, maybe you could call the police department and have them send a team over." His mother insisted, "Michael, you need to come right now. It could be something serious. Thomas is old and frail. What if someone broke into his house?" Michael sighed. "Okay, Mom, I'm coming. But please don't go outside, all right?" he said. Instead of taking Christian home, Michael decided it would be fine to bring him along. They got into the car and drove to his mother's house. As they approached, Michael started hearing shouting and violent noises from Thomas's house. First, he checked on his mother to ensure she was safe, then turned toward Thomas's house. Through one of the windows, Michael saw shadows moving. Inside, there was a man wearing a hat, holding a cleaver, shouting at Thomas. Occasionally, the man swung the cleaver toward Thomas, who shouted back at him. This only made the man angrier as he began yelling louder and banging on the walls. Michael couldn't stand it anymore. He moved toward the house's front door. Just as he reached for the handle, a gunshot rang out from inside. Thomas's voice was abruptly silenced. Michael hesitated, unsure whether to enter, and decided to wait by the door. He glanced at the car and noticed Christian moving, trying to get out and say something to him. Michael gestured for him to stay quiet. Suddenly, the door opened and the man inside came out sobbing. Without hesitation, Michael lunged at him, trying to wrestle the gun away. They struggled on the ground, but in the chaos, Michael realized that Christian was no longer in the car. Fear gripped him as he fought to subdue the man. Desperately, he grabbed a stone nearby and struck the man on the head, knocking him unconscious. Michael ran toward the car, shouting, "Christian!" He reached the car and looked inside, but Christian wasn't there. Just as he opened the door, someone approached him from behind and struck him on the back of the head. Michael blacked out. When he opened his eyes, he found himself in a hospital room,